calling my friends back home. Can't believe I'm deciding to do this. Like, I'm willingly choosing to dive with these apex predators. Am I okay? Like, am I sane?
Hello
To another episode
of
It's Fareel
with
فرح
and سليم. لازم narrate. الحين خلاص صارت الثين كلها منك.
صح مو كلها مني والله كلها منك انت.
But you brought it up to my attention. Now I started like focusing on it.
fixating on it. بس الحمد لله we got rid of the accent.
Which one?
The Jamaican, it was Jamaican, it was British, it was God knows what.
The British was only because I was binge watching Bridgerton.
God.
Your Grace.
Anyways.
So I've been super excited about this.
حيل
It's been a long time coming. Yeah, كم مرة we schedule it and it falls through and finally we got her. We got the mermaid.
صح.
Yes.
صح.
Well, we have today a very special guest with us. She is
A Kuwaiti mermaid.
a Kuwaiti mermaid. Exactly.
I love it.
Kuwaiti mermaid. She is amazing. She's a diver.
Yeah.
She's a model. She turned this passion into something bigger than that, where she created an amazing community of gathering like-minded people and spreading the love of diving.
ويبلبطون.
And she was also named Girls That Scuba Ambassador, first one from Kuwait.
I'm telling you, she's a Kuwaiti mermaid.
She was one of the first to kind of have a chat with Nike. We have with us today the one, the only MER, aka Mariam.
You know, I kind of like that I have a share moment where I don't have the last name. Here is Mayor. And you just have to know who's Mayor. You know, like Cher.
Yeah.
You don't ask for Cher's last name.
No?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone knows what Cher's last name is.
Yeah, isn't it just Cher?
No, it
doesn't have a last name.
She's, yeah.
I don't know
she's
what her last
Armenian.
name.
Like it's an Armenian name or something.
Yeah, but يعني once
We don't
anyone
care because
says
anyone
Cher,
shares,
خلاص.
they know who Cher is.
Yeah.
And when we say MER, everyone knows.
Everyone knows. Ah, I love that. Thank you.
MER comes
honestly.
from mermaid as well.
Yeah.
صح.
Actually,
Did
we
you
can get
choose
into
that?
that. Yeah. So I chose it because that's my nickname since I was a kid.
Cute.
So my cousins always used to call me Mayor.
Oh.
And then it just progressed to just Mayor. And then when I decided, okay, what am I going to name my business? I thought, oh my gosh, it's so amazing because Mayor is also a prefix for things that are partly sea creatures like
Yes.
mermaid, merman. And that's every diver. Every diver is part land and sea.
Yes.
So I thought, and it's my nickname, and it means sea in French.
صح.
I was like,
It just comes in full
You were
circle.
born with it. It was your destiny.
Destiny. So it kind of just worked.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know منو سماج?
From my fam?
Yeah, like
I
was
always
it-
ask. It was my dad, but the reasoning behind it, I'll never know.
Cause like it literally came as a full circle, you know. Your
Yeah,
name is
yeah.
Mariam,
Yeah.
your nickname is Mer.
Yeah.
It's as you said, it's sea in French. It's mermaid.
Yeah.
You know, it's literally a full circle.
It's full circle.
That-
Honestly, when I realized the moment that I was gonna call the business Mayor, I mean, everyone thinks that a business name is Dive with Mayor. It's just because Mayor was not available. So I just named my account Dive with Mayor, but the business name is Mayor. And I was just like, oh my God, let me just be vain and name it after me. So
Why not?
why not?
No, but it works
Why not?
perfectly.
Why not?
It's 3 letters. Even
Yeah,
like
it's
when
easy
it's
to
as a
remember.
logo, it's
Exactly.
beautiful, you know,
Exactly.
simple.
Yeah.
Has a lot of meanings behind
Yeah,
it.
it's a triple, quadruple entendre.
أي. تموتين على سؤال. تموتين على
A
سؤال.
lot of French words, nonchalant, entendre. I love it.
Yeah. كلها بتاع كله. بتاع كله.
بتاع كله.
So we want to get to know you.
Yes.
In a fast way. طبعا we're gonna get deep. It's like in a fast way. So just a quick question.
Yes.
Just to get to
Rapid
know you.
Q&As.
Rapid Q&A بالضبط.
And then some of them are us. And then we're going to have a couple of this or that dive edition questions. Or maybe we should keep that at the end. The this or that dive edition.
خنشوف.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure
Yeah.
it out. في وايد أسئلة ببالي. في وايد أسئلة.
I'm so excited,
can't.
like the topics that we're talking about today, because it's something I really love. So I'm like, super excited.
راح أتمالك أعصابي وايد. I'm very curious about your horoscope.
Aquarius.
Okay. Makes sense.
Imagine you were a Pisces. That would have been like,
That would be me.
she's a Pisces, but like imagine you were a Pisces. That would have been like the perfect.
But you know what? Pisces, love them. A lot of my besties, Pisces, they're very emotional. And I don't know if in my line of work, it's good for me to be extremely emotional. There has to be a cutoff.
So they're emotional, but they're not as emotional as Cancers. There,
And you have a thing for cancer.
Maybe
I swear
that's
to God.
it. Yeah.
Like, wait, hold up. What's up with you on cancer? Because حتى last time you were like, this is cancer season. ما أعرف شنو.
it's hot, and like I realize every year during like July cancer season, I get like خلاص وصل حدي, you know, like I'm not myself, like even my sleep schedule gets off, and the minute like خلاص like it ends, I'm back to my normal self. Something is going on.
What's your horoscope?
I'm a Taurus.
Taurus, هذه.
Okay. I don't know many Taurusians. Is that the
Really?
term? Would you call it
Taurians.
Taurians?
Such?
I love that.
Is that a real thing? Okay, interesting. Tony أدري والله.
It sounds like a Greek house name, like a fraternity house. No?
شكله شيء صح.
Taurian. I mean, Toro is like that's Spanish also for.
It is
Yeah,
Spanish, not
both,
Greek
yeah.
though. Okay. Favorite place to be
In the water.
in the water.
If that can be anything. Swimming pool, sea,
Okay.
lake. I just need to be in water.
Around
I know
water,
this.
in water.
Yeah, I noticed this last year in February. I did a ski trip and I was so out of my element being on a mountain that I noticed all I needed to be was in water. It was very bizarre, and it was the first time I felt it. I was skiing going, I love this, very beautiful, very serene, but get me to a pool ASAP and let me just sit in it. So I feel, because it was such a disconnect being so high up, because there's no water to be kind of like there's no sea, you know. If you're skiing, you got to choose. Unless you're in Lebanon, then you can do both in one day.
I was just about to say, like, I've noticed I'm kind of similar in that way where, like, not necessarily like in water, but I need to be somewhere that's in close proximity to like a water, like an ocean or a river or whatever, like in close proximity. And I remember, like, I went to Riyadh for the first time, and I was like, I can't live here. It's too suffocating. I need to see water.
Yeah.
Like, it's all landlocked.
صح.
Oh no.
Yani there's no, like, I cannot be here for too long. It felt so like suffocating. Although it was nice and everything, but I need to see a body of water. So I can totally relate to that, yeah.
It's true. I'm changing my answer. It's either in water or close to where I can see and I know that it's close by.
Yeah.
Because
Where
even
basically you can
energetically,
walk to it,
yeah,
right?
like I feel like energetically it's just different when you go to the chalet area to when you're in the city.
Yeah.
Your mood just completely changes, even if you're not in water. It's
The
true.
water heals, man. Like,
Yeah.
I think so. ما أدري أنا لأن صراحة I live in Rumaithia, so basically I always see water.
Isn't it healing?
وحتى in دوامي, like I work in Mina Abdullah, so him I see
Yeah.
water.
That's so nice.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's,
Don't you feel a difference?
plus I'm a Pisces. I take a shower 3 times a day. You know, I need it to calm myself down, to wake up, to put myself to sleep. I need that water energy around me. I do.
Water, everyone needs water, honestly. Like,
It's
Yeah,
true.
في ناس they are mountain people.
don't get me wrong. Like, I love the
Or
Or
mountains.
desert people. Or
Desert
Yeah,
people, yeah.
but like,
Can't
even
relate.
if I'm in the desert, at least I want to know, like, there's like an hour away, there's water next to me that I can just go to at any time.
It's
Dip
true.
my toes
Yeah.
in.
It's true. That's why I just came back from Baja, California in Mexico.
Yeah.
And that was ideal because that was beautiful desert and you're on the sea.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I can have both. There are places like Dahab, same thing. It's like desert and then you can have sea
south
also.
of Turkey.
Ooh,
You have like
still
cliffs,
need to go.
mountains, and stuff like that. You have like hikes, and then you have like the Mediterranean Ocean.
صح.
Yeah.
صح. صح. A secret talent of yours.
Oh, okay. I can wobble my eyes, but you have to come close to see it.
شنو يعني wobble?
Let's see. I don't know.
شنو يعني?
First thing that came. Okay, look at my eyes. I mean, I have to look at one of you to do it.
Wait, I want you to do it to me, and then I want you to do it to the camera.
To the camera, I have to come very close because it's like I don't think you can see it that. Okay,
شنو؟
I'm gonna look like
Yeah, like that. Oh my God.
It's vibrating.
like it vibrates. I can
Eee.
control my eye muscles really well.
wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله.
Mashallah.
That's my talent. I have nothing else to offer the world.
You can't sing. You can't dance.
No.
Listen,
no?
Not
we're
at all.
planning on taking some singing lessons. You can join us if you.
Yes, we're planning.
Done.
Yalla.
Yeah, you're in.
I'm serious. I'm in.
خلاص.
يلا
بس
خلاص.
the next Destiny's Child.
Yes.
Let's do it. Okay, I'm done.
Fave animal.
Ooh. Fave and easy. It's a marine iguana.
Marine iguana?
Yes. So ever since I was young, I always felt like I had a
Google that.
very interesting relationship with lizards. And then when I found the marine iguana, you only find them in Galapagos. They look like Godzillas.
ترى صدق.
They're so cute, but they swim. They're so cute. Please look at them. Like, look. Wait.
ترى صدق they look scary.
They look so cool.
So
It looks like a mixture of a
like this.
T-Rex and an egg. Oh my God, that's
Isn't
amazing.
that wild?
It's like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Iguana edition.
Honestly, look at it. It's so
They
weird.
look more like dragons than the Komodo dragons.
Yeah.
Game
Yeah.
of Thrones type of
That's
shit.
some Game of Thrones stuff.
Yes.
Aqua edition.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Jumanji type of stuff, you know, like that's crazy.
Yeah, you can only find them in Ecuador.
Wow.
So that's
Have
my
you- have
favorite.
you
I've never seen one.
Not yet.
I really want to
What
go.
was your first reaction when you saw someone like something like that?
I saw it online. I was like, "That wow! I found my
شفتي
favorite
online,
animal."
okay.
Yeah, I haven't been to Ecuador yet. I really want to go dive there. But then another one, I would say, yeah, I really love sharks.
This is something that
And
we're
I
gonna
don't
be
want
talking
to.
about.
I don't want to specify like a certain shark. I do love hammerheads, but I love sharks.
I love sharks.
Okay. هذا الموضوع راح نخليه حق بعدين.
Okay.
This is the opposing stuff that
This
I was
is-
telling you about.
Okay.
كلامي يقرقع.
Because like I was like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
can't
I'm
wait to talk
excited.
about sharks.
يعني look, my spirit animal will always be the dolphin.
Okay.
Always, forever and always.
Yeah.
بس يعني sharks.
I love
احنا اليوم تسولفنا بالموضوع فما راح انط عشان
We'll wait for that.
We'll wait for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
But no, like if you experience, like if you see them like in real life and experience like being close to like you're gonna, it's different. It's a different type of energy. I swear.
Describe yourself in 3 words. Take your time.
Damn. This is hard.
That's the interview question.
Interview questions.
These are the interview. Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah.
about yourself.
Tell me about yourself. Describe yourself so we can hire you.
Brain freeze.
تنحت.
This is so hard.
Are you adventurous? Are you?
You know when you're like, who am I? This is the existential moment that I've been waiting
I'm
for.
a person. I'm a human.
I'm a human. That's 3.
A mermaid.
Okay. Wait. Oh my God. I'm struggling. It's like, okay, your life's not going to depend on this moment.
You can
think of
change the
something.
answers
I think
later.
fun.
Okay.
And positive.
Perfect.
And I'm considering it one word or a mermaid, like water baby.
Okay. That's
Marry the
amazing.
mermaid.
Yeah.
هو ايه يعني
Yeah. Perfect.
يعني ترى هو صدق حتى بهالكم دقيقة اللي you talked ترى هذا صدق the outcome of what you just said. تخيلي بهالكم دقيقة يعني.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I never thought about it actually when, you see like, describe yourself as, I'm like, because I always feel like you want to choose something that's so like a true representation of what you're like. And I think if I had to choose between the 3, what mine really like sticks out is like positive.
هذا أهم شيء ترى. If you think
And you
about
can
it.
feel the energy, It's the water.
Amen.
It's all that water.
It's all the water.
والله صدق.
What's your favorite snack?
Oh my God, crisps, like chips.
Okay.
Do you have a specific flavor?
I love preferably spicy.
I love how she said it in the British way.
Crisp.
Yeah, because I grew up saying crisps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crisps for sure. Like cheesy, like Cheetos, or spicy. Like the Lay's black ones to be specific.
Okay.
Or the Hectares ketchup ones. Can you tell I know what I like?
We go
Very
with full-
specific.
Oh,
love
another
that.
word to describe me. I have all of the words. Decisive. I know, minus the part that I couldn't decide the 3, but I am very decisive.
That's good.
Like in the moment, I know what I like and what I don't like automatically.
That's perfect.
I don't need a lot of time to
Khayal.
decide.
You know how rare that is?
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, girl.
خيال.
Yeah. I know some people actually who aren't like that. And I'm like, can you just decide?
That's Libras.
أنا كذي. I'm very indecisive.
Girl, that's scary. That is so true. Libras, I noticed, just can't
That's
decide
like the
to save
most
their life.
known trait in them. They're the most undecisive.
I don't have Libra.
I think you just rocked my world with this information. It's so true because I always like, can you just decide this or this?
It's really
I
hard
know
to
you
become-
know the answer.
Yeah.
Tara, it's really hard to become decisive. So the fact that you are,
Yeah.
it's very, 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 very rare.
And that's good.
That's good.
That saves a lot of time.
اي والله.
جد.
Yeah.
Sometimes من كثر ما I'm indecisive لما مثلا, for example, you're on an application just like scrolling for food. وايد شفت مطاعم. I just exit.
Really?
راح أروح أسوي توست جبن. I swear to God.
Next time, call me. I'll decide for you.
ما عندي أي مشكلة. ما عندي أي مشكلة.
You're like, as long as you're happy with the decision, that's what matters.
But yeah, technically yes.
As long as you are eating that sandwich and you're like,
Yeah,
this
that's her
is
favorite
what-
meal, actually.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm a simple girl, you guys. Simple. Last book or movie you read or watched? Which one do you prefer? Like books, movies?
Or TV show.
The last book I read was Verity. It was really good. I read
heard of
it. I have ADHD. The fact that I finished that in 5 hours, I was like,
Wow.
yeah.
Then we should read it.
Please read it.
I'll
Very
check it
interesting book with, what's her name? The author? Colleen Hoover.
Colleen Hoover.
Yeah. Good book.
Have you read her other books?
No, but I want to. The
Because
new
the
one is
movie-
coming out, right? What's it called?
It ends with us. Yeah,
Okay.
the movie's coming out next.
Have you read the
I have
book?
to write.
Is it good? Should I read? Oh,
I read.
I was gonna say.
I mean, it sucks. Like it's an easy read.
Okay.
And like
Good.
I read both of them. It ends with us and it starts with us.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's 2 parts.
which one's first?
It ends with us.
It ends with
and then she like it's a story about like I don't want to ruin it for you, but it's about this girl. She ends something and starts something. You know.
Ah, okay. I'm gonna start it then.
Before the movie comes out.
I love very gory, very like the only books I like to read are murder, thrillers. That's it.
Mystery, horror,
Yeah.
TV.
Self-help books. I tried to start The Secret. I did 4 pages on a liverboard. I was like, nope, this is not for me.
I mean, some books are
لا.
hard, like they're useful, but they're very hard reads.
Yeah.
For example, like one of the easier reads, like of self-help books, The 4 Agreements.
Oh, I never heard of it. Okay.
Super easy read. I finished it in like 1 sitting.
It's super easy, but if you're not into that genre,
Yeah.
you
But
will
yeah,
never
I've had like I am into that genre, but I've had some books where like I read, I can't finish it, I close it, and then like I come back to it 5 months later, and I have to read it all over again, and I haven't been able, like I can't.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's me with 40 Rules of Love. I found like, you know, when you go on your phone and you see a memory and it shows you this day, 3 years ago, I had one this day, 6 years ago. Me trying to read it and I'm still only 20 pages in
Yeah.
and nothing has changed. And every time I go on holiday, I'm like, you're gonna read it. But like you said, you have to go from the beginning because then I forgot.
you forget. Yeah,
I'm
بس
like,
خلاص
I can't.
معناتها it's
I can't
not
do
yours.
non-thriller books. I
that's
can't
me
do
with 1984.
1984 is heavy.
It's a heavy read. You know how many times I still haven't
It's a
finished
heavy
it.
book, بس
The
يعني-
longest I've gone through is halfway through because 7 times. Every time I try to read it,
شوفي, it's such a good book.
that's why I want to finish
But
reading
like,
it.
if it's not for you, it's don't force it. يعني,
لا,
a
I
book
know
should
it's
not
for
be
me. It's
forced.
True.
I know it's for me, like it's very interesting, like the storyline and everything is very interesting. It's just like a heavy read, the words usage, the sentences, like the whole
Structure.
the structure of it. Such a heavy read, as she said. So like every time I read it, and the most I've gone through is halfway through, and I still haven't finished it. Now I have to go back to it again. For the, like,
Exactly.
Why don't you
10th time.
try
Listening to it?
Yeah, try listening to it.
I'm more of
Maybe.
a old school. Like I like to read books.
Oh, so you don't like Kindles too?
No, I don't mind them. But like I'm more of a like I like to
Smell
read
the
it.
paper.
I'm like that.
Yeah.
I need to touch the paper. It was just
Yeah.
so not eco-friendly and I'm trying to do more like Kindle style.
Unless you could buy usable books,
Yeah.
like reused books.
Oh.
She likes the
Kitab.
smell.
She likes to, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the smell of fresh paper printed.
Okay.
You know.
Library.
إيه, أموت عليه.
Summer or winter?
I think we all can guess.
Summer.
I think we can all guess.
Summer.
We can all guess. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl unless it's a dive day and then I muster up the courage to do.
Unfortunately,
Early
all
bird.
that most dives are, and the earlier the better. Bad.
Yeah. every time I host a dive trip and you have to wake up like 6 a.m. or something, sometimes 5:30, and I wake up and it's like I forget that I have to be up early. Like I forget that I chose a sport that involves me waking up early, and I go, gosh, why did I choose one of the only sports in the world that you have to do early? Because
in the morning.
so yeah.
But then waking up early is worth it that day.
Yes, for sure. Like
بس
liveaboards.
مو أول 5 دقايق when you're trying to get ready and whatnot.
That's the thing I don't like. Like on a liveaboard, you wake up and you're in the water in 45 minutes. Like I haven't even woken up properly. I don't drink coffee, so I'm not that.
I haven't done liveaboard, so I haven't.
Yeah?
Yes.
Girl, we're doing it.
Inshallah.
Done.
Soon. Yes.
Yeah.
But like I know the waking up early and stuff like that, and I remember when I used to do it in Miami, I had to drive to Key Largo, and I was staying in Miami, and I usually prefer the 8 a.m. trips because it's always like the best water. So it's an hour drive.
Wow.
And
Commitment.
Yeah.
حيل
But it's worth it. It's worth it. I would wake up at 5, get everything ready, drive. Amazing. Then it's worth it. You will, if you ever go there, you're gonna see why. You're gonna remember.
You're gonna know? Okay.
حبيت. Sweet or savory?
Both. And like if I have my breakfast, I like to have sweet and savory. And then I always, when I go to restaurants, tell them that they have to bring it at the same time. I know some people like, for example, their eggs first and then their pancakes. I like to have the eggs and I take 2 bites, and then I take 1 bite of my pancake. Then I take 1 bite of the egg and then 2 bites of the pancake.
Okay.
So I like to interchange.
Okay.
So both.
So both. Interesting. Very interesting.
Dog or cat?
I'm usually a dog person, but we have 3 cats at home. So for now, I guess it's cat.
أحس قاعد بيها من ورا قلبك.
I love them, but I'm just so affectionate that cats, for the most part, aren't like that, or at least ours aren't.
They're moody.
Yeah. They're like humans. They have boundaries. But with dogs, it's like they're always happy to see you. Their tail's always wagging when you come home. They want to squish you and like be close to you. Cats is like, I have to pray. Like only 3 days ago, I found the technique of how to get my cat to now sit on my lap. It's like she has a brush and I just randomly brushed her and she liked it. So I was like, oh, okay, I know what to do now. Every day I'm trying to teach her, brush, I brush you. And then she comes and I'm like, yes, I get her for 2 minutes a day where she lets me like be close to her and I get to brush her. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Cats.
It's dogs unless it's my cats.
بعد التريك ولا قبل التريك؟
What do you mean?
بعد التريك مالت
Oh yeah. No, I love them. But it's like unconditional love because now I have them. But
How long have you had them for?
2 I had for 6 years now. And
Wow.
then, yeah, we've been cat family for a while, but I prefer dogs. We were dog family before we were cat family. So we had like 3
There's a
dogs.
shift.
I don't know, we've had them for years, the dogs, they passed. We had them for like 16
It's hard, it's
and all
always
that. And then it
hard,
just
yeah.
became, I want 1 cat. And then 1 cat became 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that shift is really hard.
Oh, yes, because we didn't realize that cats are so quiet because dogs aren't. Like you hear when a dog is coming, you can't hear necessarily when a cat comes.
Yeah.
So for the first few weeks, I would get startled when the cat would be next to me because I usually with a dog would hear it coming to me. So those little things made a difference, like an adjustment for me.
And one thing also, the biggest difference is like you can train dogs to not go certain places, but cats, they go everywhere, in every
You're like
corner,
kids.
in every like crevice of the house.
It's true. The more I tell my cats not to go somewhere is when they want to go to that place.
تنام يا هال.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
والله تنام يا هال. I can't.
All right, now switching over to getting to know you on a deeper level. We're diving deep, actually, literally, physically.
No pun intended. Yeah.
No pun intended. For sure. Diving deep with MER.
I love that. If I have a podcast, you guys, I'll credit you, but I'm taking it.
The name of this episode.
Yeah.
صح. خلينا نكتب عشان ما ننسى.
Write it.
Diving deep with MER.
I love that you got Farah. So good.
Sometimes they come randomly. Yeah.
كتبتها خلاص بس.
All right.
You cannot, will not, delete.
Will not, shall not.
No.
All right, tell us about how, like, where you were before diving and then how you got into diving and how it started.
Yeah, so I was a corporate girly. If we go before that, I studied in Australia. I did my master's there on the Gold Coast.
Amazing.
I never got the chance to kind of travel around. So when I moved back to Kuwait, I went back and then traveled around. And I backpacked. It wasn't the plan, but it just happened from a 3-week trip and it turned to 5.5 months. Like I just kept extending. Yeah, like different things would pop up. I'll be like, okay, I guess I'm staying another month. And then I would extend again. Oh, I'm staying another 2 months. My family and friends were like, can you come home?
No, this is the life. I would tell you, like, go. Extend.
Live.
Go live, honey.
بس أكيد like her parents will be like what's going on. Her friends will be like يعني أنتي تبين تنقلين بس ما أعرف شلون تقولي لنا ما أدري.
My parents are, the best trait to them is how supportive they are. If I said, oh, I was going to fly to the moon tomorrow, they'd be like, yeah, okay, just like, don't forget your helmet. That's cute. That's my parents in a nutshell. So my parents were like, yeah, go live your life. You want to go have fun. My friends were actually the ones like, we're going to text your parents and tell them to tell you to come home. Like, no. So, because I just kept extending. Yeah. So for them, they really thought, oh, are you just going to move? And when I was traveling, I went to the Great Barrier. Oh my God. And it's just been, I got my license there. The first time I actually tried diving, I have it on video on my GoPro. I did 2.5 minutes and I was like, this is the weirdest thing. I'm not here for it. Like, get me out of the water as fast as possible.
What year was that?
That was 2017. Wow. But the thing is that was a DSD, so that was trying to dive. So how that happens is I did a day trip. They take you out and they go, does anyone want to dive? And I went, okay. So they just say, this is how you clear your mask. This is how you breathe in from your regulator. And then, you know, it's not like as much prep. Sometimes people, understandably, like the mammalian responses that we're not supposed to be underwater. Some people, it's easy. As soon as they put the reg in and they go down, they're fine. But for majority of the world, that response happens where they go, I'm not supposed to be underwater breathing. Like, we're humans. We're not supposed to be submerged underwater for that long. And I had that. And so I just freaked out. And then a week after that, I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to get my license. And I genuinely thought I was going to die. Oh, wow. I remember texting my mom going, I love you. Like, kind of not telling her that I genuinely, you guys, it was in the pool. Like, it was like not that deep.
The pool dives are worse, man.
Like, it wasn't that deep figuratively and physically. It was pool, but that's how much I was.
You were affected
by that first day that I didn't want to.
What did you feel though? What was the sensation? Like, were you...
While I was in the water, I was fine. It was just before that, I was like, I'm going to die. Like, I'm going to die in a pool.
Jumping into the water.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to die. Like, this is the day. This is the day I croak. And then I got in the water, I was like, oh, this isn't bad. It's fine.
You dive, and if you feel you're going to... Because I've never done it.
Yeah.
Okay? So, like, you dive into the pool or the ocean or whatever, and if you feel like you're going to suffocate, you can pull yourself back up, no?
I felt this before getting in. So while I was prepping to get in, I thought, I'm going to die. So I remember texting my friends, I texted my mom. I was just like, oh my God. And then I got in and I was like, MER, you're like, relax. Chill. You're fine. Chill.
But you know,
you're fine.
It's actually like, for me, the pool dives were the worst for me.
Really?
I hated the pool dives. Like, I remember that second day, I remember in my training, and like the second day, I was like, it's irritating me. Like, as I said, like, it was suffocating. Like, I hate it. But they're like, don't worry about it. Everyone feels that way. Like, in the ocean, it's better. And that was so true. Like, maybe because I'm not a pool person as much. I'm more of like an ocean person. I just got irritated by it. And I felt like, I don't know, the regulator was annoying me. Everything was annoying me. And I think
أحس الماء أثقل مال البول.
Yeah, because it's fresh and it doesn't have...
لا الماء مال البول أثقل.
Because it's fresh water. It doesn't have salt. But the ocean, like that dive, I felt normal, like عادي.
That's good though.
Yeah.
So it's good. At least you had a good first time out at sea. Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah.
Which again, still a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people have pool is bad, sea is bad, and honestly, props to those people that keep pushing. Like there are people that have had, like very traumatizing open water license experience, and they still were like, no, I am made to dive. And good on like those people. I know a few of them. The mental effort that it takes to get past that, it's so admirable for me to see. But once I did my open water, I was fine. Like I was like, okay. And that was basically in between the two new phases of my life, which was finishing my master's in Australia and then moving back to Kuwait. So when I moved to Kuwait, I worked for Shalhoub. I did the marketing for them for luxury cosmetics. And then I just noticed that every time I would travel, it was only for diving. Every time I traveled. So it kind of started affecting me after a while.
Was it like subconsciously you would purposely choose to travel for diving, or it just happens to be like you're somewhere and then there's diving and you go?
It just happened. I think it happened a few times, and I just noticed the pattern that I would keep traveling to dive. And then I got to a point where I did Coachella. So that was April 2019. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd come back to Kuwait, and first day back to work, I did Coachella, and then I randomly, spontaneously decided to go to Bahamas, dive there, while my friend was waiting for me in New York. But I was like, I'll meet you in a few days. Let me just go to the Bahamas first. Went diving. When I came back home, I told my mom, I really want to resign, and I really want to start hosting dive trips. And back then, we didn't have what we have now. Now there's a lot of influencer-led trips, or people that everyone's like hosting trips now, whether it's dive related or not. But I don't know, it was like such a random idea for the time, back then. And I was like, I want to leave. I feel like, not to say that what I'm doing here is superficial, but I know that I can give so much more of myself if I host trips. And so she was like, what did she say? She was like, okay, maybe take 2 weeks to see. Maybe you have coming back to work blues and you're like sad that you're back. So take time to decide. On that day, I was like, I'm leaving. Like first day back to work. Again, decisive. I just knew first day back to work, I just had to leave. So I left. And from then I started organizing myself. Like, what am I going to call it? August of that year, I decided, let me call it MER. And then November, I booked the 2 liveaboards, Philippines and Egypt. And then obviously everything went to shite when COVID hit. And none of those trips happened. But that's how I decided to start. It's like the irony now looking back that I decided to do something like all of those trips were 2020. And it's like, the world's going to shut down, babe. You're not going to be able to do anything.
I mean, COVID hit, and it hits really strong.
Yeah.
For everyone.
And how did you feel like when that happened? Like, did you feel like, oh my God, this is a sign? Or you're like, let me just wait for it? Like, how was your whole thought process?
Yeah, it was really interesting because I had to pay for all those spots. So I used like thousands of my savings, and they were all put into those boats, only to then be told that we can't give you your money back. And everything's just kind of floating in the interwebs. Like, your money is somewhere. We will give it back to you as a voucher. But when
God
can I host it? When? Yeah. And they were on the verge of going bankrupt, or they did go bankrupt, that company. I don't really remember, but it was very stressful at the time because I had all that money. And then I thought, okay, well, what am I going to do now? I'm stuck in Kuwait for what feels like forever. I mean, all of 2020, right? We couldn't leave.
Yeah, it was up until like 2021.
Yeah, mid to end-ish. Yeah. So all that time where I couldn't host anything outside. So I was like, okay, I'll start hosting in Kuwait. And then that's why I met you.
Yeah.
So it worked out. Like, I knew it would work out.
I mean, during COVID, a lot of people took advantage of Kuwait and its local aesthetics and whatnot. And I think it was to be honest, it's a blessing in disguise. I think we needed that just for locals or expats within the country to see how beautiful Kuwait is.
And we have those,
because we tend to forget, you guys. Tend to forget the gems that we have. So I think it was definitely a blessing in disguise, honestly.
And people start to become creative in terms of like doing whatever and like hosting whatever it is, in terms of dives, in terms of workout classes, in terms of whatever workshops.
It's true. A lot of people, especially that time, it really kind of worked in my favor because everyone wanted to escape the city. So everyone was doing like either dive trips or boat trips. Everyone wanted to be on the islands. And I was like, oh, okay, let's start hosting in Kuwait, getting people also to build my company up and kind of know divers in Kuwait. Back then when I was posting, no one really knew I was from Kuwait. It was only when I would like bump into people, I'd bump into dive center owners and they'd say, I know you. Oh, you're Kuwaiti? I was like, yes. They're like, well, I follow you. I didn't know you were even, because I wouldn't really post much about myself.
Yeah.
And so it kind of worked in my favor to build myself up back home until the borders opened and then
That's amazing.
be free.
So basically your first trip was in COVID.
Yeah.
Where was it?
We had them daily here. And then when the borders opened, I did Egypt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was it doing your first trip?
Oh my gosh, this is the first time I'm talking about this, you guys. Okay. This is actually really good because I feel like people don't really talk about how things can go so horribly wrong. And everyone always talks about, yes, I'm so successful. So like, let me tell you about the story. I booked the whole boat. When you book the whole boat, that boat had 26 spots.
Okay.
Double bed, 13 rooms, so 26 spots. But then everyone was revenge traveling when I decided to do my first trip. So everyone already had plans. So imagine putting thousands of your money into a trip only for no one to want to book. So then I convinced the dive company, okay, can you at least take some of the spots? Don't have it that all the spots are on me. So they're like, fine, we'll take back half the boat. So it's like, cool. So now I have 13 spots to fill. I mean, minus my own. So I filled, guess how many spots?
5.
How many do you think? How many spots out of the 13 do you think I filled?
I don't want to say 2, but I feel it's 2.
It's 1. I filled 1 spot.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
I filled 1 spot, which was insane because that meant this was the first liveaboard in the history of liveaboards that had 50,000 rooms that were empty. And you would just have me and 1 other guest. That was my first international. And also it was crazy compared to the ones in Kuwait because ones in Kuwait would fill out in 45 minutes. So again, it was weird to go from, oh, I know this trip is going to sell out. My day trips fell out in under an hour. And then I host like in one of the most beautiful dive locations and only 1 person shows up. I was like ego crash. But then I realized it's okay. These things happen. It's not me. Like everyone has their own plans. Yeah. Everyone has been wanting to travel for years.
2 years. Yeah.
Nearly 2 years. So you can't expect people to join yours if they already have plans of where they want to go. But yeah, that was my first international trip. 1 person.
Wow.
That was in Egypt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That person's probably a special, like, you know, like now you know who that person is.
Very well. Yes. Oh, yes. Actually, he got accepted while he was on the boat. He got accepted to do his PhD in England. Like, wow. And he was
oh my
gosh, it's my birthday. And then the day after his birthday, he's like, I just got accepted to my PhD. So he was
that was a good luck trip.
It was a good luck trip for him. But yeah,
positivity.
One person.
That's amazing.
شعور حلو.
Yeah. It's a mixed emotions.
لا بس شعور حلو. شعور حلو. But what was it like doing your first يعني trip like during COVID? I تعبت وانا اسولف عن COVID بس during COVID and in Kuwait. Like what was your experience?
They were so much fun. They were the only things that kept me sane during COVID was meeting all the like amazing people that I met.
Okay.
And there was like a running thing with the trips that by the end of the trip, everyone would come to me and be like, how do we all get along so well? Like, it's as if we've known each other for years. And I'm like, and it took me a while to kind of come up with the conclusion for why that is. And then I realized a lot of people that host trips back in the day, before, again, that was like 2020, 2021 was before influencer-led trips happened. So you wouldn't know who's hosting. You'd have like Compass, you'd have other international brands where there was no face behind the brand. So you wouldn't know the person that's hosting, which means you wouldn't know if you vibed with them, which means you wouldn't know if you then vibed with everyone else. Whereas because everyone would see my face, they would be like, you would only join if you felt like you connected with me. No one joined if they were like, she's kind of annoying. You'd only kind of join if you felt like, oh, she seems nice.
Yeah, or she seems interesting.
Or she seems,
I feel like
I could be
would
friends
enjoy
with her,
this,
or I would enjoy hanging out with her for a few hours at least. And so if everyone then felt that way, then it was kind of automatic that everyone would have that together. And so that's why also their international trips, past the one with the one diver on board, every trip that I've hosted since, which I mean now, alhamdulillah, are like 12, 14 divers. So I've really like gotten more since that incident. But on the second day, we'd go out and we'd like bump into people, locals in that area, and they'd be like, oh, you guys, you're a group, you all know each other. How long have you known each other for? I'll be like, we just met 24 hours ago. And they'd be like, what? You guys seem like you're all besties. And it's really like a testament to the people. It's a testament to how amazing everyone on my account is. Really.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
It's also about Danny. Everyone's sharing the same kind of like passion or same thing that they enjoy doing. So they're there to have a good time and enjoy.
Yeah.
You know?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
To find the sense of belonging and
the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This social media era that we're living, everything is so fast.
It's too fast. I can't keep up, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm struggling. And to keep up means I'm burnt out. So it's either I burn out and I keep up, or I don't keep up and I just go at a slower pace and I'm just like taking it easy.
Trying to
and
catch
I'm like,
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 15-second generation, the Gen Z. I'm يعني هي اللي قاعد تساعدني صراحة. She's my backbone when it comes to this.
I'm keeping her updated with every. I try to be up to date, and I'm keeping her updated.
Honestly, it's I don't even think 15 seconds anymore. I think it's like 5.
5, yeah, like usually
Or
the
3.
average of reels
can't
is like
do that.
8 or 7. Something like
Yeah.
that.
We had that topic the other day in where we miss listening to a whole album, like from start to end. And then we also miss TV shows like, I'm not a fan of Friends, but like you get the idea of
Like
Friends.
long season TV shows.
You know?
Guys, I'm watching shows now and they're all 24 episode seasons. And I'm like a bit anxious watching it because I'm so used to 8 episodes.
And then season
A WoW is like 10 now.
Yeah.
And or like, you know, these these mini series where it's like 8 episodes, 1 season all. I'm like, no, I want more.
You want more.
Or limited series.
Yeah.
that have been فيها.
That's true. That's a new thing. Actually, I really like
It's
those.
nice because like you
It's
finish
nice.
the
But you want
story.
more.
Yeah.
بس like احنا متعودين Vampire Diaries. احنا متعودين Gossip Girl.
Amen.
Yeah.
احنا متعودين ما يعني
Like Breaking Bad, you know?
Yeah.
Like Power.
يعني
It's true. It's hard trying to like have people have an attention span for things that you really want to show. Like I want to show you how my trip is, but I know by the second story you're gonna X out and go to someone else's. So yeah, it's I feel like getting harder and harder by day.
Crazy, yeah. And then like the trends are like coming and go. Like you can't keep up with the trends because like by the time it gets to you, it's already on to the next one.
Oh yes, that's why I decided. I was telling my friends I'm gonna hire someone at some point, like in the near future,
like a social media manager.
But who are they going to be? They're going to be a Gen Z diver that understands trends.
Or Gen Alpha at this point.
Or them. Like I need someone who, when a trend comes out, they can pump out a video fast for my account. You know, I don't have TikTok, but they always say it's on TikTok before it's on Instagram by 2 weeks or something crazy like that. So I need that kind of person on my account that is like just handling everything. And I just
متروسين متروسين.
But I also a diver. Like they have to apply the thing to the dive jokes.
Yeah.
To like the dive lingo.
So they understand the diving.
أدري بس قاعدة أفكر is it gonna be hard ولا لا؟
Not in Kuwait. They don't. I'm gonna have it that they're based anywhere. As long as the time zone isn't that crazy that I can talk to them. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. Also, life now is like I can hire
Everything
someone
is
from
remote.
anyone, right?
Yeah, everything is
When
remote.
I would love to be that person. Imagine, like you can be anywhere. I mean, it's going to be for the start part-time until I can make it more. But like, imagine you can be anywhere in the world on vacation and you're like making videos, sending them to me or posting them yourself.
That's like that's the best thing. That's a goal. Like
remote jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll get.
I was just gonna say. You're like no.
Like we call her grandma. She's like our grandma.
I love it. I was waiting for your reaction. Like no, she's a corporate girly.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like sometimes I'm telling like I'm traveling here. I'm just like you need to like set up like your friends is like whenever you decide to like sit your ass down and like stay here for a while.
My friends messaged me like 3 weeks ago. They're like, you're never here. We always say we feel like you don't live here. I'm like, thank you. Like, that's the compliment that I need.
Yeah.
Not that I live here. It's that I don't live here. This can be like the home base where I can come back to. But
to ground yourself.
To ground myself.
Connect. Yeah.
Exactly. Little. And then
recenter. And then you're off again. That's the goal. See?
That's the goal.
That's
not
a
right
life.
Now. Not right now.
No, you're young. You have that energy. That's a life.
Yeah.
You know, like go for it. You want to wait till you're 50, Yadi?
That's the only thing about COVID that I didn't like is that I feel like it ate into that time. As much as a lot of good for me came out of COVID, but it ate into the possibilities that I was able to get abroad, like internationally. Because I was stuck here for so long.
But you never know. Like as you said, like the positive out of it is you built your community here and everything. So that helped you grow on a deeper level, in a different way or another.
وهو finding a community هني بالكويت كل ما له قاعد يصير أصعب because of the social media era.
Yeah.
Everyone is just it's
Behind
getting harder. It's getting harder to connect. It's getting harder to find real people, genuine people. It's really crazy how hard it is.
Yeah, that's why I actually started this business. The whole reason wasn't because, wouldn't it be fun to get paid and travel? I have always been a solo traveler, and so I would go travel, dive with people, but I hated the feeling that at the end of the day, I'd see like a cool thing underwater, but then I wouldn't see that person the next day because I'm solo traveling. That person ends up going to a different part and I end up going here. But I love that feeling of I saw a whale shark and I wake up the next day and I go, oh my gosh, wasn't it so cool that we saw that whale shark? And they're like, yeah, it was amazing. That specific scenario is why I started this business. And that's why my biggest flex for my business is my community. Because they're the whole reason why I wanted this. I wanted people to connect, to meet each other, and just go on dives and have people that, like you said, are very similar to you. They believe in the same things. They are fellow water babies. They believe in, being environmentally friendly and what that means. And they love sharks. Okay, we'll get there.
لا عادي
We'll
عادي.
get there.
والله عادي.
She's like, I don't mind.
هم حلوين من بعيد.
Gotcha. Okay.
يعني they're majestic creatures.
Yeah.
من بعيد.
But that's when you feel their magic when you're
لا من بعيد.
The magic she wanted from
afar.
a distance. Yeah.
يعني كيوتي كوتشي
behind the glass.
Behind the glass. No, at an aquarium? No, don't say that. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
We took a turn.
معنا يعني I am kind of against aquariums لأنه ما له داعي صراحة.
حرام
Yeah. يعني you have a real life aquarium اللي هو البحر ocean هذا يعني على قولتك go dive.
Yeah, it's true.
بس يعني ما له داعي. Free Willy, you guys. يعني that's a movie I grew up with.
Yeah.
يعني
I just saw orcas a month ago. And that was actually a moment because I grew up with Free Willy too. And then when also SeaWorld always has those orcas haram doing like all those shows that they do and like horrible stuff. And so when I saw them in the wild, I was like, wow.
You saw them in real life?
Yeah. I'm hosting a trip next year. It's for swimmers. We'll be swimming. But seeing them in the water is like one of the most, they're the smartest animal in the world. Yeah. Literally, they're the smartest. And you feel it when they're in your presence, to be honest.
That's amazing.
So smart. So smart.
وخروا عن الشاركس شوية. هذا بعدين.
Some of them are actually some of them are actually like يعني they'll bother you more than sharks, some of them.
Yeah, some fish.
Especially orcas. Have you seen?
Some fish will piss you off more than any shark would.
Have you seen how orcas have been targeting like certain like boats and stuff,
for sure,
flipping them
boats,
over.
yeah.
أنا
and
اللي
stuff like
سمعت
that.
in
So
general
smart.
يعني مع إن I am a Pisces I think لأن I am a Pisces I know what could happen I'm staying
Plot
away. I
twist.
think
That could be it.
So we'll get to diving in a bit. We'll get back to it. We want to talk about your other side as well, your modeling side.
Oh, okay.
How did you get into that?
because you started with Shalhoub, so I mean,
Yeah.
did that influence it somehow?
No, actually, for years, my mom, I mean, a few people have told me, why don't you model? Why don't you model? And my mom, I mean, I used to be very awkward taking pictures. I would hate it. I always like smile with teeth. And anytime with someone would tell me, no, don't smile with teeth. Let me take like a nice shot of you. I'd be like, I can't. I'm so awkward. And then it was, everything seems to be 2019, huh? 2019.
The breakthrough year.
The breakthrough year. Yeah. Everyone was at an event, I forgot which, and this lady came up to me and she said, oh my gosh, like, do you model? And I was like, no. She's like, I would love it if you were the face of my brand. I was like, that is so random. I just told you I don't model.
That's so sweet of her.
Yeah. And she was like, would you do it? And I remembered for years, my mom would always tell me, don't you want extra cash? Just model. I mean, very anti what moms I feel like would say in Kuwait, which is to, you know, not be in that industry.
Yeah.
And I remembered my mom in that moment and I was like, sure. So I gave her my number. Then COVID happened. And then she contacted me, that lady, in April. She's like, please do this shoot. And I was like, okay. And I did it. And it was like the easiest intro shoot to do because it was all smiley. They wanted me to smile. They wanted me to be very effortless. They didn't want a lot of poses. They wanted very natural. It was a summer
What
collection.
was it? Was a clothing
Yeah.
line? Okay.
Clothing line. It was a summer collection. So they wanted it very easy, breezy, effortless, chilling with the other model, laughing, talking. And I remember when the images came out, I cried. I was sobbing because I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm pretty.
Okay.
Isn't that so weird that like I looked at these pics and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm pretty. Like women, huh? Like we're taught, oh, you shouldn't be this, you can't be this, you're too this, you're too that, you're too. Your hair should be like this, your face should be like this. Maku, you just be you and that's enough. And I feel like that's when I realized.
Find yourself.
And that's when I realized at that shoot, and always with me, I'll take an opportunity out of nothing. I took those pics. I was like, okay, I guess we're modeling now. Opened up an account, posted the pics, and that by chance just happened to be a really known business. And so the next day from those pics, I started getting calls, and that's like
That's
it just
amazing.
literally
Wow.
snowballed from there. Yeah. So that's how
it was
started.
meant to be.
Yeah. Do I see myself doing this forever? No. I feel like you can see based on my account to other models' accounts. Their accounts have thousands of followers. They post a lot. Mine is very work. Mine is I post the shots that I take. Not enough. I only have like 40 shots, if that, on my account. I should post more, but I post the shots. That's it. I don't post my life because for me, it's purely work. I purely go in to shoot and leave. I don't see it as my career kind of thing where I want to do this for a long time. I just think it works perfectly with my diving. Mm-hmm. I'm freelance. I can stop diving at any moment, be in Kuwait, do shoots, take this time to this time off, go do a dive trip, come back. So it just works really, really well together. And also weirdly like complements each other, because for diving I also have to get my pictures taken for some stuff, you know, so it weirdly helps.
It teaches you some techniques,
like it teaches
doesn't
me
it?
techniques for my diving. So you know, if I'm underwater, I know that I need to face the light. So if I face the light, then my head needs to be turned that way and up, so it shines light on the mask too. There's certain things I already
techniques.
know what to do because of my modeling. So it actually works hand in hand together, which is great.
love
You would
that.
never think that, but it does.
A blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
You didn't want it, but it came to you.
A blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
I love that. Everything we're talking about today is basically a full circle.
It is positive. It gives you
It is
positive. Yeah.
fun with positivity.
Yeah.
I think you have to find the positive in things, but you also have to roll with it. Yani,
Yeah.
if something happens, I know a lot of people that say, oh, I want to do something. And then the opportunity comes, someone tells them, hi, do this. And they go, no. Like, do you actually want to do something or not? Because you have this opportunity now. Someone's saying something. This could snowball into this or take you a different route. But if you just have to be a yes person. Like the Jim Carrey movie, you know, Yes Man. You just have to literally be a yes gal. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Eminem said it. You only get this opportunity once.
Amen. It's true.
Yeah.
It's so true. Yani, a lot of things
You
only
get
come
one
once.
shot. Do not miss your chance to blow.
Best we need
This
to
opportunity
like.
comes once in a lifetime, yo.
Oh my god.
It's true.
It never gets old. It never gets old.
Yeah.
Best like I just want to fixate on what you just said because it's so humbling, and that you came into a realization how when you saw your own pics and how harsh you were on yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I still am. I think that was the last time I saw pics and thought I was... No, not the last. But yani, it takes a lot for me to see it now. But I know it's in there somewhere.
Haram. No, it's...
you cannot be hard
It's in
on
there.
you.
And I remember the girl that I still have the voice notes. I remember the girl that I had texted at the time and told her about it because she saw the pics come out, and then I had just met her like that year. And she had texted me like, oh my God, Mabruk. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm so pretty in these pics. And she's like, oh my, like for her, that was wild. Because she's like, I think you're so pretty. And she goes, you just rocked my world that you're having this reaction. Because if I think that you're so pretty and you're having that reaction, that means, Saj, like we're all a slave to this system of thinking that we
Standards
have to
of
be
beauty.
anything but ourselves.
Yeah. We need to look a certain way, act a certain way.
Like keep up with the standards of beauty that are ever changing.
Ever changing. Now it's thin eyebrows, then it's thick eyebrows, and then it's skinny, and then it's
like
curvy,
big lips,
and then
small
it's
lips.
yeah. So I realized, oh, okay, like, and then it also is kind of scary because a lot of people in Kuwait like to Photoshop.
Yeah.
And I naturally already have lips. I don't know why they're obsessed with enlarging them. I already have. So I just look like a Bratz doll. I already have skinny nose. You make it skinnier. You end up either looking like Michael Jackson or a Bratz doll, you know, in pics. And I'm like, why? Just leave. And that's also the part I think that's not so fun is then the body dysmorphia of looking at yourself like,
I know her. But
is that me? Sometimes I think like, is it editing? Do I look like that? And I have to take a second, like zoom in. I'm like, oh no, it's edited. But then you have to get yourself out of it and say, damn, I know I look really pretty in these shots, but that's not you. And that's the constant thing that I have to keep doing. It's like, that's not you.
You've been down that road?
Oh, I called them out on it. I will post it. I'll be like, what is this? This is not me. Like,
wow.
Yeah. Because it's...
that takes guts.
So that's why I'm like an extremist. So that's why I always post with zero filter. I mean, now more so people are losing interest in the filter life. Yeah. But even now, I don't post like, you know, Paris. You know the ones on Instagram, when you click on a pic and then you scroll and it says Paris, Stockholm, I don't know what. I don't put any, zero. I'm on the normal, what's called normal. And I do that on purpose because if I don't catch myself, I'm going to go down
the rabbit hole.
A very scary road of filters, not looking like me, not being able to take any pic without a filter, which is a lot of people now. They can't do any selfies without a filter.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it a couple of episodes ago, and because of the filters, the demand for plastic surgeons or cosmetic, whatever, everything, Botox fillers, whatever, and literally, I want to look like the filter.
Yeah, like they'll take a picture of them.
What?
Yeah,
Yes.
they'll take a pic. Like, say you take a picture of yourself and this specific
using
filter,
Paris or whatever, Stockholm or
and
whatever
then like
filter.
you like go to the doctor, like make me
want
look like this.
You guys just blew my mind. I didn't know this was a thing.
No, but it's a thing.
Yeah.
and it just keeps on increasing as the platforms increase as
And
well.
unfortunately, it's like affecting the younger generation even more because like we grew up without those. So like we saw ourselves in the worst, man. Like
I mean, yearbook pictures do not.
We had humbling.
yeah, like we
Picture
went
day.
through the ugly
Civil,
phases.
civil ID.
We had ugly phases. They don't have that. Like, no, you have to suffer like we did.
Yeah.
No. I mean, civil ID pictures don't like, what? No.
It's true.
Jinsiyah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Jawaz Gabel.
It's
No
true.
way.
It's true.
We all went through
Thick eyebrows.
yeah.
Or,
Penciled in too much 2016 era.
Blame.
Yeah, but they don't get that now.
Nope.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll tell you something. I wasn't I wasn't always pretty. I meant like I wasn't always like, oh, she's a model. You know what I mean? Like I had, as we all did, ugly phase. And I swear, I genuinely do believe that the reason why I have a somewhat okay personality now is because I had an ugly phase. Tara, that's something you don't think about, yeah? If you're a kid,
We
if
glow
you're-
up. The glow
you
up.
had a glow up, which
Yeah.
means you were able to have a personality because you couldn't always rely on the pretty.
On the looks.
Okay, now we all pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, but imagine if we were pretty from kids. That I swear, I have a theory that the younger gen that don't have the ugly phase, they're gonna grow up with less personality.
Allah يستر.
I just thought of that now. I just thought of that now. But it's true. It's
أنا
true.
يعني هذا شيء بروحه يخرعني.
Yeah.
يعني a person not having a personality, damn.
Because they think like يعني being pretty is
Is the personality.
the way to go around. يعني.
Yeah. I just thought of it now, but it's true. Yani, if I think about all the movies or stuff, when you think like the popular kids in school,
They always suffer later.
they suffer later. Why? It's because they didn't have to
Work for it.
work for
This is Gossip Girl type of shit. Right,
yeah.
right here.
Yes, the Serenas and Blairs. Yeah, I think so.
صار الموضوع deep وايد. وايد صار deep يا جماعة.
Because you know what? I'll tell
Yeah.
you. It's because
I'm loving it.
people
Don't get me wrong.
think modeling is in
Glamorous.
glamorous. It's literally the furthest thing
It's
from
tiring.
it. It's very stressful.
It's stress. It's time consuming, and now you stay in a pose, and they have to repeat taking photos.
And if you're tired, if you're upset, if you're halatara, it shows in your eyes, in your face. So they have the same thing for like air hostesses, where their job is very emotionally demanding because they have to put up the front. They have to have the front of I'm fine, or I'm good, I'm not tired. So you're exerting more energy because you have to combat that feeling.
yeah.
And facial expression.
Or the
God,
yes.
how hard how
So
tough that
it's very tough, and you're doing that multiple times, and you're having to change. So it's physically exhausting, and then also it's normal. We're women. You gain weight, you lose weight.
Yeah, like one day you're bloated.
So you have to like your measurements. You pray like, okay, I gave you the measurements 1 month ago. Like I have to fit into the pants. I've had it where like, thank God it never affects me, but I've had shoots. I'm also like the biggest model, which I mean, there should be a lot more size inclusivity, but definitely I am the biggest model.
No way.
Yeah. And so for me,
didn't
I've
even
had,
get that.
I have had
That's
so many
crazy.
shoots where pants don't fit me, and alhamdulillah, like it doesn't affect me. I don't ever feel like something's wrong with me, which is amazing. Like I don't feel,
Alhamdulillah.
oh my gosh, no, I should fit into the mafi should.
But it could
This is my
affect
body.
a lot of
But
people.
it could a lot if you're not strong-willed and you join this industry. Oh, it's not ideal. I
And
don't
not
advise
only
it.
that, like
cup of tea.
certain outfits might look like might not look good on your body type. Doesn't mean in the يعني والله it's something wrong with you. It's just like each out. Like for example, this outfit might not look nice on me. Doesn't mean something's wrong with me.
Hey.
You remind me, I did a shoot for a very big company in Kuwait a few months ago. And we usually for big shoots, you have like a stylist come in and they choose your outfits. They just ask, what are your sizes? You go and you try the outfits just like the day before, make sure everything fits fine. And then I'll never forget this. The day of the shoot, they were shooting me from the side. So I had to walk like that and they were shooting me like that. And you know this new trend of dresses, where it's tight and then it billows out,
The low hem.
but low hem, like low waist.
Yeah. هذه
Okay.
هبة الحين صح. It's a trend.
Okay, like kind of looks like old school
Yeah.
look. Okay, that's not for my body type. Why? I'm very curvy. Like I go really in out with my waist and then I go really out at my hips. And that, because it sits so low, you would have to get a size bigger to fit me from here, but like from my hips, but then it wouldn't fit me on my waist, right? And then also I have like, I don't have like European style body where it's like I have a very flat stomach. I have like we majority have as Middle East, it's a thing, you have like belly that sticks out يعني to fit your organs.
Yes.
Okay. Tony, it's for your organs.
Yeah, to fit your organs, but like in that dress, it's so unflattering that like God bless, the director had to come to me and be like, girl, please, do you want to take it?
Not it.
He was like, okay, I need you for this shot where you're going in, suck in your stomach because it doesn't look good for the shot. And I was like, thank you for telling me. But yeah,
So
like
you're gonna be like,
yeah, and you do that. We did that take like 30 times. And it's just me walking, taking 10 steps, standing. We did that like 30 times. So every time we finished that, I'd be like, relax. Let my organs reposition themselves. And then it's like, okay, 3, 2, 1, action, go.
No breathing.
oh my God.
But that's the thing. It's like a normal person, like I should have maybe said, oh my God, that's not a flattering
I don't want to do this
dress for me. But then also sometimes when you don't have a choice, it's a brand, for example, that comes in. It's so easy if you don't have that strong will to say, okay, it's not me, it's the dress. This is not fitting for my body shape. Oh, you can definitely spiral and be like, oh my gosh, I need to lose weight. I need to crash diet, eating disorder, what have you, like all the jazz.
That's
so
you
have to be
we
strong.
all have different body types and different shapes as well, as you said. So like a certain dress might look flattering on you and a certain dress might like not look flattering on the others and stuff like that. And I think I've seen like a video one time about like modeling school book where it's like what to wear to flatter your body shape.
Oh yes. Yeah. It's like the gamine, romantic, classic. There's different.
Like
it's true. It helps, and also it's to show you that how to get the best, how to feel like the best you, right?
Yeah.
Without feeling like the best you means you need to lose weight.
Yeah, like for example, like where to kind of like
right?
But not you're dropping
Dropping.
حكم.
dropping facts, dropping
أي
gold,
facts حكم احنا حاليا wisdom.
TikTok.
But it's true, like, يعني, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of times where I have body issues and I'm stressed.
I mean, all girls
and I'm
have
like,
that.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But it gets more because this is my job.
Okay.
And then it gets more because diving is my job. So, because then I'm in tight outfits. Yani, both my jobs, there's no leeway. This I have to fit into the clothes. This I want to look good when I'm in like a wetsuit and or like I'm in like my normal outfits that I wear. So I think it's all inside. Like I have to prep myself. Like you're fine. It's okay that you gained. It's not the end of the world.
Like we fluctuate.
You're more
by
interesting.
Week, yani, by
yes.
week, not even by month. Like just by today and then like 2 days later, it's a different like عادي 3 kilos of like water weight. It's normal.
Exactly. So it's kind of telling yourself like my weight is the least interesting thing about me. I have more to offer.
For sure.
It's because of the ugly girl phase.
I'm telling you, it's so vital for life to be ugly at some point, you guys. I swear.
I love that.
That's how you appreciate the beauty of things.
Amen.
صح.
We all.
Now when you have a good hair day, you appreciate it.
Yeah.
A good lash day or a good skin day حتى.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, oh, alhamdulillah, you know?
Whereas they didn't have that, or they're not having that right now. So what are they gonna have?
Yeah.
I feel like بالعكس, it's just gonna get worse and worse because they're trying to like maintain that they looked like that at that age, right?
Because they are on social media at all times. Like they're posting that stuff is like online, for everyone to see, and a lot of them have like public accounts and everything. And people are mean online, you know,
Extremely mean.
extremely mean, like with comments and like. They don't think twice. What they're just behind a screen commenting on like they're fine, like they're pinpointing. They're waiting for something to pinpoint for, you know.
I don't know what is. Yani, inshallah, I'm hoping to get to a point where not my modeling account, but my other account gets bigger. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I start getting like hate, because right now I don't have hate. I don't have
Alhamdulillah.
people.
لا inshallah you don't get it.
I mean, I feel like it's inevitable. No, like it's inevitable.
listen,
at some
the
point I'm gonna
hate
get
is only a reflection of how they feel about themselves.
Yeah.
It's not about you. Like, خلاص, you know you.
Yeah.
What that person behind the screen anonymously is saying is only about how they feel about themselves, and they're putting that out into onto other people.
We've deleted some like hate comments. It's not because we're shy about them or we're questioning no, it's just because we don't want such vulgar language on our account.
That's
but like
good,
there's
that's
like
good,
there's other
and
then you have like the other comments where it's like we laugh at them actually.
Yeah.
We're like, that's hilarious. Like, okay, whatever, you know.
Yeah, with diving, I get some funny ones. A lot of them are to do with sharks, but it's not weird. Like my first negative ones were to do with sharks. Like I'll post a shark video and they're like, "Oh, they should be killed," or and not nice stuff about. Oh, this is very normal online. That's sharks are such a polarizing
And
topic.
this is what we will be talking about today because I am very passionate about this subject.
لا انا مستغربه ان في ناس كذي قاعد تقول يعني يعني ما اوكي صار في a whole revolution about like people killing dogs in Kuwait فما توقعت it's going to be also targeted towards sharks صراحة.
Worldwide. Worldwide, people
there's a lot of documentaries about it, like a lot. We'll get to that topic later.
Ooh.
Back to diving now.
Okay.
So now we're gonna dive back to diving. Back to the water.
Back to the water.
What would you say was one of your most memorable dives?
Weird that this came to mind when I got my first panic attack underwater. I think maybe you were expecting like a happy memory.
Yeah.
لا مو شرط عادي يعني عادي.
But getting a panic attack underwater.
Underwater.
Yeah. On my first, like I didn't experience panic attacks. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what an anxiety attack is. And I was hosting a trip in Kuwait, and coincidentally 2 minutes before we went down, the guests randomly were like, "What if we panic when we're underwater?" And I said, "You can do whatever you want underwater. If you panic, you just have to be calm.
Breathe.
Like be calm but panic." And they were like trying to calculate what does that mean. Yani, you can't help if you feel something, but you can help how you act. And that's life.
صح.
You can be angry, but it doesn't mean you can like break a plate or lash out. It's the same thing. Be panicked, but just be calm. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm dying. Nothing's happening. I'm just swimming.
By yourself, like
I'm with the group, but I'm like, I'm gonna die. It was weird. It was like it's panic attack. And I only realized after, because then I would Google online, like, what is this that I just felt? Your heart racing fast, and that feeling is panic attack. Wow. And I remember thinking, you're fine. Like, breathe. What do? Distract myself. Look at the fish. Look at the coral. Look at everything. And then we finished the dive. It like went away after like 10 minutes. Longest 10 minutes of my life. I surfaced, and then by chance, the divers were like, "That was the best dive I've ever had in my whole life." And I went, "I just had a panic attack." Like I told them straight away. Like we surfaced, we still had our masks on our head, like we literally just surfaced. And I was like, "Oh wow, okay, this is weird." And that affected me for a very long time. I like coincidentally, that happened, and then the season was finished in Kuwait. So imagine something bad happening and you can't exposure therapy it out of you by doing that thing again the next day or the next week. Or
were you tired, or was it like, how were you doing mentally at that time? Like it was physically or mentally? Like were you stressed? Were you tired? Were you thinking of something?
I was fine. It was like weird. I just started having panic attacks. The second one was while I was driving on the highway. And I was alone. Wow, really? All the times I've had, or the first few were like all in very dangerous situations.
Driving, diving. I was like, what is happening to me? And I was like, this is so weird. And it took me a whole year, literally a whole year, to get to the point where I was even able to do the full days diving. So the next year, I would host trips. I would do the first dive. I wouldn't do the second dive. I was like, okay, I did one. I'm good now.
And I would do that every trip. And always the second dive, people want to go dive with me. Why aren't you diving? Come dive. I was like, oh, it's fine. I have stuff to do on the boat. I just need to organize things for you for when you're done diving. And, just make up excuses for why, I'm tired. I'm going to sit this one out. I'll go swim instead. And then I only got over it 1 year later when I went to Jordan. It was the first trip out of Kuwait that when the borders opened. And I went and I pushed myself and I did the 3. And I started crying. I was like, oh my God, like I finally did it. And then I broke it. I was fine after that. Like once I did.
You got out of it.
Yeah. But like a whole year of like, oh my God, how fashla. Like this is my life. Like I dive and I'm scared to do 2 dives or 3 dives. So that for me is like the most memorable because it was so random, but also it was beautiful because that was the start of me going to therapy. And I talk about it on my account. Like I'm so pro therapy. And I've tried to get so many people into therapy.
No, therapy is
beautiful.
Useful.
Yeah,
I love that.
I'm so pro therapy. Like I know our gen is getting there. Like we have 2 sides. We have this side that's still, it's taboo and you have to be really crazy and or suicidal and that's why you're going to therapy, or they're like, oh no, cool. Like, and I feel like I'm trying to normalize it, especially our culture. And it's always like, oh, but you can just pray it out of you. You can just pray the thoughts of, or you don't have faith. That's why you have this. Babe, it has nothing to do with faith.
Yeah, definitely. It's how the mind is rewired.
Yes.
And sometimes I find also like doing something that is therapeutic in a way, like, and doing something that you feel therapeutic. So like you feel better afterwards, and that kind of like rewires your brain in a way.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how you said Jordan, because I could totally relate to not to that extent, but my first kind of like panic, it wasn't a panic attack. It was just like that panicky thing that I got was in Jordan.
Oh,
it's crazy. But it had to do with a lot of different factors.
Yeah.
I had just done I hiked Petra for 2 days and I went to Wadi Rum, and then my last stop was in Aqaba.
Okay.
And the water was choppy.
Yeah.
I was exhausted. That second dive, I dived and I had the split fins.
Oh God.
So the guide was already ahead. They were going against the current so when we come back it's easier. And I was swimming, but I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. I was just and I got tired. I was like, I can't. So alhamdulillah, I didn't panic min nahiyat oh my God, get me out of the water. It was just I can't swim anymore.
Yeah, it's overexertion.
Overexertion, and I was physically tired. And I was the second dive, so they just threw the ring.
Oh yeah, okay.
And they had to pull me to the group, so I can.
But then did you go back down?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you fine when you went back down?
I dove. It was a deep one. It was into the it was the shipwreck.
Oh,
so
okay.
I kind of went through because I was already tired. I went through the tank quicker.
Okay.
And obviously deeper, you go through it quicker, and I got narcosis.
Fun. The fun kind or the not fun kind?
I didn't know. It was I felt like I was just swimming in one place. I'm looking. I was like, oh wow, this is interesting. The side of the wreck. I love wrecks. I love so diving, look at the wreck. I'm just swimming. The guide is moving, and I'm just in my place. I thought I was swimming, but I was just in my place, just floating.
You're kidding. That's fun though.
I didn't notice I had narcosis until I was oh shit, that was narcosis, And then the guide had to come pull me from my tank. I was yalla khalas, let's go.
You're hovering at the same coral piece for half an hour. Let's go. Let's see the wreck.
But then after that, I was was this normal that what I felt, was that normal, or was it something that internal? I was la, maybe I was tired, and alhamdulillah, I dove again, and it was all good.
Okay, that's good.
Same thing, you did that exposure to kind of test yourself.
You need it with anything. That's why, anything that is weird that happens or is out of the norm, the best thing to do is get back and do it straight away. The next day, the day after, if possible.
The more you think about it, the worse it will get.
Yeah.
That takes courage, you guys. Yeah, not anyone can do that.
Yeah.
You will soon though. When we
Inshallah.
take you diving.
Inshallah. مو اليوم باكر.
Water baby, no pun intended, with
Inshallah.
wee baby.
And then okay, so that's the most memorable. Other than that story, do you have like any other crazy story that happened to you? Or
did you ever have like someone who joined your trip who had a panic attack and you needed to like coach them through it? Like,
I've had people before they join dives are nervous, and then I always have this thing on my trips where it's like no judgment zone. If you don't want to dive, I'm not going to ask you to dive. If you say you want to sit a dive out, I just say okay. I hate when they're like, no, you should come
You
join.
can do
You
this."
can do it. No, because diving is so like mental. If you're not up for it and you dive, you could panic. So, and then you're worse. I'd rather you just sit it out and take a breather. But if you do feel like you want to dive and you feel nervous, I always encourage people, come talk to me. On the last trip, we had a guy, funnily enough, he is. So do you know Below Deck, the show?
yeah.
Okay, he's the captain for the Australia Below Deck.
No way.
Yeah, because I'm a ambassador for Paddy and he is too. And so I texted him and I was like, hey, do you want to join my like shark trip to the Maldives? We're going to dive with tiger sharks. And he was like, my biggest fear is tiger sharks because I went free diving and I had a very bad experience with this tiger shark charging at me. And since then, it's his biggest fear. So I said, you know what? This would be the most beautiful experience to facilitate this for you and have you come. And so brought him out, and before the dive, you could see he was just not okay. Like he was like knowing that he was going to see them. It's different when you just happen to see them out. You know, that first time he saw them, he just happened to see the tiger shark. It's another thing to fly all the way on purpose to do this.
Yes.
And he did it and he was fine and he like calmed himself and he saw them and he was like totally fine.
How did he get into that mental state where I'm going to jump now?
I think he wanted to prove it to his daughter that, you know, he's in his 50s and at any moment, any decade of your life, we all have fears. It's not about never having fears. It's about having fears but still doing it. And so as a parent, I think he wanted to show his daughter that, you know, I'm human. I know you're very young and you look up to me and you see me as this really big thing. Like we all have that where we see our parents as maybe not human. They're like this bigger thing, but also to remember like, no, they're human. Like they have fears, they have aspirations, they have doubts, and so to kind of humanize himself, he wanted to do this thing that he knew was very scary for him to do, but like, hey, look, I did it and I got over it.
yeah,
Wow.
And so you also can do that. You can have things that you're scared to do, but you can overcome them. Everything is overcomable.
yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah,
That's the word.
we added it to the dictionary.
Now that you brought the sharks up,
Yeah.
let's talk about sharks. So, biggest misconception. I know, like, we want to get deep into like the whole misconception people have about
Because
sharks.
we need to understand how it all started.
We'll come up to that. The misconceptions people have about sharks. We want to bring that to light. Bring shark awareness.
Yeah.
You know, like
Love it.
talk about them. I love sharks. Let's talk about sharks.
Let's talk about sharks, baby.
Yeah.
It's all about you and me.
Me. What do you want to say?
my
What are our
God.
thoughts?
What I was telling her earlier, I was like, you know, she was like, oh, she's afraid. Like, as she
I'm not
mentioned,
afraid.
Like, she doesn't want to be in close
Proximity
I saw
to them.
Soul Surfer.
Oh, the one where her hand
Yeah.
gets bitten off?
Yes.
Okay.
So I saw that. I'm not going to say I'm traumatized, but I don't necessarily need to put myself in a certain situation like that.
What I told her was, you're more likely, statistically speaking, more likely to be hit in the head by a coconut falling off a tree than be bit by a shark.
Alhamdulillah, we don't have coconuts here.
Or even a vending machine falling on you.
Yeah.
Which is very random. Yani the reason why I like giving that one is because you can hear about a coconut falling on a tree and hitting someone. Have you ever heard of a vending machine falling on someone?
No.
And that is still more likely than getting bitten by a shark.
Exactly.
Best, ironically, you still hear people getting
Because that's something they put on the news.
Yeah, it's definitely from what I know. So there's this amazing documentary I suggest everyone watches. It's specifically about Australia, but it's called Envoy, and it talks about how a lot of news outlets in Australia, they talk about it because it helps their benefit. Like it aids their agenda to kill sharks if they make a big scene about it. So they have like these drum lines which are like nets out at sea, and what they do is they try and kill them. And there's actually a very horrific video about this tiger shark that they found got stuck in one, and then you just see the authorities, they have a drone shot of this, stabbing, like while it's out at sea, stabbing this tiger shark, trying to kill it because it helps their agenda. They're like, we're doing this to protect our nation. No, it actually is worse when you kill sharks.
You're ruining the ecosystem and underwater.
And you're having, I think it's more attacks happening than less, like that, or the same. I need to double check, but it's not less.
Okay.
So all of that is for what? Like the attacks are still happening to the same amount or more, and you're just killing them. You're messing up with ecosystems. The whole reason, if people aren't aware of why sharks are so important, it's like they're like the doctors of the sea, kind of. They go and they kill the sick fish that are out at sea. So they're really needed for healthy ecosystems. So it's not like they're just there to scare us. I feel like people who don't really understand why sharks are there just think, oh, they don't need to exist. There's an amazing video that just came out actually about how I knew the first part. They are older than dinosaurs. They're older than trees, sharks.
Wow.
They're older than the North Star. I found that very interesting.
That's extremely interesting.
Yes.
Right?
I was
extremely
like, amazing.
Yeah, trees, okay, cool. Dinosaurs, cool. But like the North Star, they're so vital for our world. And yeah, I mean, this all started from Jaws.
Jaws was like an unnecessary movie. Hate me for this. I don't care.
No, it's true. Like divers hate Jaws because that's actually Steven Spielberg came out with an apology because he didn't realize that creating that movie would make so many people scared of sharks and want to kill sharks, and he didn't realize that he just made it because I think it was a book. I don't know what came first, the book or I guess the book, right? Idea. I didn't know there was a book. Like I was in New York now and I found there's a book. So I'm not sure what came out first.
I didn't know there was a book.
I don't know if they're linked, but there is a Jaws book. So I don't know if it was a book first and he just made it into a movie, but he regrets making the movie because of all the hatred that has come and the fear.
Yeah, because Jaws صار a sequel. صح كنا like
it was
4
2 parts.
Oh, now there's Paris something on what's the one that just came out now? Paris. There's a shark movie that just came out, Paris, I don't know what it's called. There's so many shark movies that have come out. 47-meter underwater, I don't know, all these. There's a lot. Megalodon, I don't know, there's a lot of movies.
If you want to talk about like, dangerous creatures, you have eels.
You have humans.
Yeah, humans are more dangerous.
Yeah. No, but and now we have killed mammals. More than any shark has killed.
Yeah.
So I'm like...
And second thing, to be specific, for divers, sharks don't come at divers. If anything, they go away. They don't want to be next. They don't, we go looking for them. They don't come looking for us.
Yeah.
I've seen Soul Surfer, you guys.
Yeah, I always...
get out of it.
I always felt like, and it's true, you're safer as a diver amongst sharks than being a swimmer amongst sharks.
And do you know why that is, by any chance?
Yeah, because sharks like to sneak attack.
Okay.
Like that's how they're predators and that's how they kill.
And they
can attack like this or down or sideways from behind you. That's why when they say if you see a shark, you should look it in the eyes. That it's true. I've been closer than this with a tiger shark that's like 5 meters. It sees your eyes. So when it goes, you have to follow it with at least your head. You follow it, it sees you, and then it goes off because no prey would look at it.
صح.
And so usually like that movie, like Soul Surfer, she's surfing, she's splashing. This is like a normal thing that a prey would do. A prey that's dying would be splashing on the surface. So sharks that do it, people think a misconception is that sharks want human blood. Sharks do not want human blood. They don't, it doesn't make a difference. I had a guy fell off a scooter the day before and he was bleeding from his leg. And coincidentally, this always happens. Before that, he's like, do they hate blood, our blood? I was like, well, you'll see tomorrow when you go diving. Like,
I mean, they're not vampires.
They don't like.
yeah, they don't like human.
vampires.
Yeah, they don't like human blood. It doesn't do anything for them. I've had a lot of girls go, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be on my period when the trip is happening. Are they gonna kill me? I'm like, no.
TMI.
Yeah.
TMI. وايد لا تطلعين لا تروحين دايفنج كنسلي الرحلة.
No, what do you mean? And like that's how much they don't, because I get it, girls get scared and if they have a tampon or whatever, and something might happen to me and I'm bleeding.
Yeah.
For them it's like, no, there's nothing will happen to you.
Yeah.
And so when you're splashing on the surface and you can't see them, they just think you're prey. They don't think you're human, and that's why they want you. You know, people think it's because you're human they want you. It's not. They think you're a fish.
They think you're a seal.
They think you're random things that are dying, and that's their job, right? Is to kill things that are sick and dying. So it's healthy for us to.
There was this one documentary. I forgot the name of it. Honestly, I watched a while back about this this diver that was bringing awareness into diving, and like it's a sad documentary because he ended up like dying at the end because of like the mixed he was doing a mixed rebreather.
Oh, is this the free diving movie? No.
He ended up like dying because like towards the end they're like, oh, may he rest in peace. He ended up dying because of he was doing rebreather and the mix of gases and the thing was wrong.
Oh, what movie is this? Is this real documentary?
It's a real documentary. This guy, I'll find it and I'll like put it on the screen. He was like doing this whole documentary about like bringing awareness to the sharks, and like he was free diving and diving and everything. But the sad part about it, like he ended up passing away at the end because there was like a mistake in the ratio of the gases that he was.
The irony.
Yeah, like he ended up dying of oxygen.
The irony,
and not
sharks.
Yeah.
It's like
such a sad,
شنو اسمه the Australian guy Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve Irwin. Yeah. When he passed because of the stingray.
Yeah.
Not because of the crocodile.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. Freak
ironic,
accident from I didn't realize that. Yeah, it's true.
It's the same scenario.
True.
Just
I didn't
different
think of that.
thing, yeah.
Because I remember they used to put on the television, oh my God, he's like face to face with this crocodile, and he would get his face inside of the head of the crocodile's head or whatnot. But nothing would ever happen, you know?
And then a stingray came.
Basically.
Yeah. I was scared of stingrays for a long time because of that. Again, you're right. Like when you see stuff when you're young, Jaws, Soul Surfer.
Yeah.
Steve Irwin dying, you're like, I understand. It's also like, it's not our place, yani. The sea is not our home, right? Yeah. That's why also I think bringing about the topic of sharks, I think it's so important how you word things. A lot of people say shark-infested waters. I think cannot be infested if it's their home. Like you don't hear lion-infested jungle. Like think about it.
We are the visitors.
Like think about it. You've never heard shark-infested anything other than shark. That's how... I always say Jaws is like, if I ever did my PhD, would be about the movie, because I'm marketing degree, and the amount of marketing that has happened because of sharks is so interesting to me. You've never heard anything used as shark or infested except a shark. You don't say monkey infested forest.
Unless it's insects, and that's something different.
Yeah, but you would say like it's an infestation. Yeah. That's different. That's like, it's an actual term, as in like there's a lot in this room. It's an infestation, so you would have to fumigate it, right? But this is their water. But the terminology of shark infested is their home.
We're visitors.
Yani, inshallah, we're not that entitled that even this we're like, they're not entitled to be there.
Though, if you think about it, we truly are.
If you think about it, like in general, any other creature in terms of like a small fish, a cat, a dog, a bird, whatever it is, if you go bother it, it will fight back, regardless of how it attacks, but like it will fight back. If you just see it from afar, like appreciate it, like even coming close, but appreciate it, not bothering it, not irritating it, خلاص, you're not gonna like.
ما شفتي الكلاب اللي بمين عبد الله؟
Oh God.
Yeah, see?
ما شفتوا الكلاب
Oh,
بمين
no.
عبد
But
الله؟
those, they've been abused. That's different. That's a whole
You
different-
don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know if they're abused or they're just like.
They're like that.
إيه ما أدري صراحة يعني no. يعني أنا من الناس اللي خليك بعيد وارجع سالم.
But I'd rather be with the sharks though than the dogs.
عشان نرجع حق sharks, I just need to like just understand and wrap my head around it. How did it all start? Like, did you see a trip someone was sponsoring? Was it a movie you saw?
I think for me, I've seen sharks around. Yani, I was like in the Bahamas on that trip.
Nurse
I
sharks,
happened to
black
be
tips.
no, they were Caribbean reef sharks, so they were quite big. They were like the size of this table, I would say. They're quite big for reef sharks, but yani, I would see them here, there, and then when I decided I wanted to host a trip, is because when I started my business, I always said I wanted to be not like your typical like Kuwait dive
Diving
center
trip, yeah.
that just like has their dive center and then they just do
Egypt.
live aboard Egypt, you know? So I always like to push it because, okay, I am Kuwaiti, but I don't see myself linked in any way or the same as any other like dive company in Kuwait. And I was like, I want to be the first person to organize like a land-based trip. And I want to do it Maldives. And I know other places in Kuwait do Maldives, but I was like, no one does land-based. Everyone does liveaboards. Like it's our thing here. Everyone loves a good safari. So I was like, I want to do a land-based. And I thought, oh, I think it would be so interesting to do about sharks. Then I realized there are a lot of people that are interested about seeing them, but they aren't that convinced, like there isn't anything that's pushing them to do such a trip. And I thought, you know, this would be really cool to do a lot of education. Like let's have it as an educational trip.
Oh, and no one's gonna wake up and be like, oh, let's go dive with like, okay, I want to go see fish, like colorful, you know, but I'm not like, you know, I want to pet a shark.
Yeah.
No one wants to pet a shark.
But you know what? For me, the trip, why I found it so interesting is because people were scared to do it, like you said,
صح.
but they still wanted to do it. Yani you, for example, have
curiosity
you ever seen a
kills.
tiger shark?
No, I haven't seen tiger
But
sharks.
you would be like, yes, I want
Yes.
to. Majority of the people that I used to take weren't like that. They were like me when I first went to the island, because I always go to the place before I decide to host a trip, because I want to be confident in everything. Like any question you ask me, I know the answer. So I remember when I went, I was like, oh my gosh, calling my friends back home. Can't believe I'm deciding to do this. Like I'm willingly choosing to dive with these apex predators. Am I okay? Like, am I sane? And when I did it, I was like, oh wow, they're so beautiful.
What
They're
was your
striped.
first reaction? Like your first encounter and first reaction?
I was like, oh my, I was scared. I mean, I still do to an extent now. I think you have to, because it's a healthy scare.
Yeah.
It keeps you alert. And with sharks, you always have to be alert.
Careful.
Yeah, you have to be careful. So it's good to have a sense of awareness and like never like, la 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 la. I'm just like, with the sharks, no, you have to be alert. You have to be looking around. Is there anyone are there any coming to you? So for me, pairing people who are afraid of sharks but want to see them and then having the awareness behind it, I would have like a marine biologist come, explain why sharks are so important, explain the different parts of sharks, explain why they're declining in the world, why they're being killed, and then kind of like making them seem real, because they're just being seen as these monsters. They're just seen as these monsters. They're not seen as like animals with souls. So I kind of have, you know, a marine biologist come kind of make them realize that they are living beings. They have a purpose. There's a reason for why they do certain things. And so explaining that and then having them dive, they're like, oh, it's this completely different appreciation that they then have for sharks. That, oh my gosh, thank you for like doing your purpose, like having a purpose and doing it and looking so beautiful doing it. you know, just swimming and migrating from parts of the world to other parts, and like, oh, there's a reason why they do that, and just like understanding the background. Then they go, when they have friends that don't understand why sharks are so important, they then can educate them, and it just kind of snowballs. So that's why I want to, like, at least once a year. I've hosted 3 of these now in a year and a half, which is good. I want to do 1 a year, if I can 2 a year, and just have people come and see what they're all about.
And spread awareness about sharks.
Yeah, spread awareness and see how beautiful they are and how they're so needed.
Majestic creatures.
What was your family, your friends, your spouse's reaction when you said such a thing, you know, when you took that trip, regardless of like you starting, you know, initiating trips like that, but like when you actually took that leap of faith and I want to go, or
so much sharks.
Yeah.
I think they're used to it at this point. They're so used to it. They're just like, nothing I say can affect them now. Like I'm doing great whites next year. And I tell my dad, I'm going to go see great whites next year. He's like, okay, is there like a T-Rex after that? Like what is bigger than a
great white?
Yeah. So I think they're just used to it. At this point, I don't think anything could shock them anymore. I mean, they do worry, but they don't tell me, which is nice, because I don't need that kind of energy that like I believe
still them taking on that worry.
But I believe it's like I believe you can do anything, but safety has to always come first, and this is my thing. Like I think there's a difference between what I do compared to someone doing something really reckless. Because when I host my trips, I make sure I go with the best dive centers, the ones that get trained internationally by shark advocates. Like the ones that I go with now are very good friends with like Ocean Ramsey and like Juan, her husband, who are known to be like the king and queen of sharks and tiger sharks specifically. So I always make sure that I go with the best of the best. So it's like, okay, yes, there's risk, but it's very low risk because who I've hired are the best.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just be like, we're going alone. That would be reckless. I would never do that. As long as everything has a safety aspect to it, I don't mind doing it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. As an engineer, HSE comes first.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Yeah, girl. I may be not corporate, but I have a lot of corporate blood in me. Yeah, for sure. Like, I like structure. As much as I think I am free-spirited, I do love a good structure.
I mean, you do need it when you have people.
In certain situations, especially if you have people like with you and like you're responsible for them. Like you need to have, you know, the certain safety, certain regulations, and like certain, as she said, structure.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, I do notice a big difference, to be honest. I put up a thing, you saw it the other week when I said, okay, when I started my business, it wasn't a influencer run trip. It was business. I said, do you notice a difference between influencer run trips and non-influencer run trips? I mean, I wish I started off as influencer run because that meant I would have had the follower count first and then I was able to secure the spots, you know? But do you notice a difference? Like, I notice a difference. I've done trips where they're influencer run first before business and they don't have like an attention to, I'm not saying, of course, this is for everyone, but I do notice like, I have an eye on every single person on the trip and what they need. Like the reason why I decided to host trips is because I feel like I have an eye to host. Whereas now I feel like people want to create a business and host trips, but they maybe lack certain traits that like as a host you need. You need to make everyone feel included. You don't want anyone to feel left out.
Make sure everyone's enjoying their time.
Everyone's enjoying. This is like the difference between when you go to a friend's house and they are known to host and you go to a friend's house and they're like, they have people over, but it's like, it's not their thing. And they're like, I feel like that's the difference. Not to say never go on an influencer run trip, but I do notice a difference between the two. Like for me, I need safety to come first. I need to have the best of the best. I'm not going to cut corners. I'm not going to have people...
Especially when it comes to diving, because like that's people's lives underwater.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like I always tell my friends, I'm like, I enjoy diving, but I don't see myself... I would never want to be a dive instructor because I feel that's too much responsibility on me with like handling someone's life.
And for me, like if I get a bad reputation... that's my whole business down the drain. Whereas an influencer run trip, if they're just, they're bad at hosting trips, they can just stop because they have other means of income, right? Because their influencer power gives them other things. Right? Other forms of income.
Influencers before anything else.
Yes, they're influencers before they are trip hosts. Whereas I have no choice. This is what I chose. I want to do this. Yeah. So I have to make sure that I do it to the best of my ability because there is no other option. There is no option for me to be bad at this or for people to start talking and saying, oh my God, MER's trips are horrible.
And it's so hard to host people because like from different backgrounds, different languages, different mindsets, all come together. You need to analyze different personalities, bring them all in together. It's hard.
Like for me, a lot of my trips or majority, like the Kuwait ones are all Arabs. I mean, because we're all majority Arab here, even though I'm proud that I managed to get people who aren't Arab on my trips too. But the international ones are not majority Arab. They're like maybe 30 to 40% Arab and the rest are Venezuelan, UK, Australia, US.
That's like, amazing.
Yeah, Armenian, yani not from the Middle East. So it's true, like to see how they all click. But again, it's that theory of because they see me, they think, okay, I would click with her to an extent. So then they all end up clicking. And it's so beautiful from all different walks of life. From the Arab to the non-Arab to the American, like very Western, like mentality, all get along. Not all are the same person, but all get along. And that's like...
They find that connection.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's the beauty of like these type of trips. Like you get to meet people that are sharing the same type of thing that you enjoy. And then like, you never know, you might go somewhere and you meet them there. Like, I don't know. Yeah. You never know where life takes you.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
So talking about encountering creatures underwater, what would you say your favorite or most memorable encounter with a certain marine?
Okay, so I know I do both. So I free dive and I scuba dive.
Yeah.
All of the craziest experiences for me where I've cried have all been free diving. I don't know why. It's very bizarre. Even if I'm seeing the same thing diving, the free diving aspect, so that's like no gear, just like your lungs for keeping you down, have all been the ones that are wow. So it's like the tiger sharks, but the free diving with them. The big manta rays, which are like stingrays, but they're ginormous. Like the size of this table is like their wingspan. Free diving.
Wow.
Orcas now. All free diving.
But why do you find yourself in tears?
Because it's like the most beautiful thing to watch them while like you don't have gear on you. I mean, you have like your fins, your weight belt and your mask, but you're just swimming with them. Like me swimming with a tiger shark, just me with the tiger shark was way more crazy than diving with one for some reason. The same thing with mantas, the same thing with orcas.
That's amazing.
Next is humpback whales.
Wow,
I've seen them, but not diving. I want to see one free diving or scuba diving.
Whales are a whole nother level of like majestic creatures. They are like something else.
I want to see them like when they, what's the word? When they like speak, when they...
Oh my God, the sound that اللي يطلعونه.
Yeah. And like how it apparently like it vibrates your whole soul, like your whole body, it vibrates from inside from how loud it is.
Wow.
That I really want to experience.
Wow. I'm getting goosebumps now just by you saying it.
Yeah, that's the next thing on the list.
That's amazing. And what would you say your favorite place that you've dove in?
I love Maldives. I love Mexico. I like the places that have very different things. Like I love Egypt, but it's the same route that I like to take. Whereas Maldives, there's thousands of islands you can go to. Mexico, there's so many places in Mexico. You can do like cenotes, the caves, or you can do the sea, different parts of the sea, like around Cozumel, or you can go to Baja. Like there's so many places to dive in those countries, and that's what I prefer. I like variety.
That's nice. Inshallah, you check out Miami next. It's
yes.
Florida.
Yes, I would love to.
Yeah, it's
on the list.
It's really nice, especially like the Keys area.
Yeah,
like Miami area has a couple of like nice spots. They have Neptune Memorial. It's one of one of two only in the world, the memorial underwater, where like they have memorials of people.
Wow.
It's like a whole kind of like a city where it's a small spot, but it's like you see like lion structures and like it's really cool.
That's cool.
And then they have like some shipwrecks there, but the really nice reefs are the Keys area. They have like molasses reef on its own has different locations. So like you can dive like for a whole week in molasses reef, and every day is a different reef. Like you have firewall, coral hole, like winch in the hole, whatever, like so many different. And the visibility there, oh my God. Like one of my favorite spots there. It's amazing.
Actually, that's the thing. I like a place with really good visibility.
Yeah.
You can see 40 meters.
Yeah.
It's like, it's close to you.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
clear.
Like
It's clear.
It's very
amazing. There, I know you would, and like the sea life, it's very colorful. Like it's even like the coral. It's like
It's vibrant.
That's cool.
so. Yeah.
One day.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
So what's on your bucket list?
She said the lizards.
Oh yes, Galapagos. That's the place I really want to go, because they're known in, I think, June and July. They have like a huge school of hammerheads, the hammerhead
Wow.
sharks, but like huge, like hundreds.
Okay.
So you see them above you, and you just see them passing by. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. So I really want to see that and see my marine iguana. And then I want to see the great whites. Yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot of pressure, you guys. There's like majority of Earth is water. So there's a lot of ground or sea to cover, I should say.
A lot of undiscovered waters as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
احنا تربينا في مقولة البحر غدار. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but like that's a lot of the TV shows back in the day.
Yeah.
Like they always have like that one son that drowned in the water or.
This is based on true
Yeah,
stories
yeah.
that happened.
But
in-
yeah,
true.
you have to say also statistics. Like driving a car is dangerous.
Oh yes.
You just have to
Yeah,
be
it's like the
careful.
most dangerous, no? Like people that are scared of planes. Like I'm not a huge fan of being like on a plane. That's why I usually fly Emirates. Shout out to Emirates. Please sponsor me. Like, because it always helps me when I know the airline. Like, I know that this song comes on as soon as you land, followed by this song actually. Like
خلاص.
I mean, I'm getting better now, but, and I always tell myself like, you're more likely to die in a car. Relax, like you're good.
Well, a lot of good information, a lot of amazing.
وما نبي نخلص الحوار المشكلة. We're having such a good time.
It's like والله يعني
It's been fun.
it's so much like things are just keep coming up and like it's never ending and like
Jed.
she's dropping gems. Everyone's
Everyone's
dropping
dropping
gems.
gems,
It's
yeah.
become like a TED talk almost about diving.
We
and
talk
shark.
about everything. We talk about
We
everything.
covered everything.
Yeah.
Literally all
good.
aspects of life.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep 'em
So
coming.
to end it on a lighter note, we're gonna do this or that diving edition.
Okay.
Just real quick, like rapid cues.
Okay.
All right. Warm water or cold water?
Warm, always.
Coral reefs or shipwrecks?
Coral.
Day dives or night dives?
Day.
Sharks or dolphins?
Sharks.
Don't see Jaws or Sorcerer. بس عشان يعني.
Photography or videography underwater?
Videography.
Okay.
Free diving or scuba? Girl. This is the hardest question.
This is the hardest. Scuba diving to look around, free diving to look within.
nice.
Is my
I
answer.
love that.
Is my answer.
That should be a quote.
Mic drop. Wisdom.
Yeah.
Tropical fish or big marine mammals?
Big marine mammals.
All day, every
Always.
day. Cave diving or open water diving?
Open water.
Ocean or cenotes?
Ocean, because it's warmer than the cenotes.
Got it.
Yeah.
صح.
Drift diving or static diving?
Static, it's like more relaxing.
Yeah.
Drift sometimes, but if I had to choose
currents,
one
yeah.
for the rest of my life, it's not
The
drift.
current sometimes.
Yeah, it's too much. Like sometimes it's
Exhausts
intense.
you,
Like
yeah.
I'll pass.
All right.
Sometimes you want to chill. I don't
Yeah,
think
you don't
want
want
to
to.
drift.
Like sometimes I just want to relax
You
and
just want
just
to
like float
Yeah.
and
Because
just
like
go at my own pace. I don't want you to tell me how fast I'm going because I'm drifting.
and then like diving is very therapeutic. It's very meditative. It's such a meditation. Like,
هو البحر هو الماء مع وضعية البشة.
like underwater, like
Under-
all
it
the
is-
noise that's happening,
Noise
like
cancellation.
it's like literally noise cancellation within. Yani you're just there underwater.
You guys. They're so good today, the gems today. It's so true. It's so just noise cancellating, but in your brain.
Yeah, like yani, what I love about it is like, you know, everyone under is silent, and like when everyone sees like a fish or turtle, like you can feel the energy of everyone's excitement without a word. You're just like, everyone's just like,
and it's beautiful because it's a different form of speaking, right? We're used to speaking is verbally, but being with your friends underwater and like trying to speak to them and trying to tell them something, and they're like, what? And you're like trying to explain something, and then you start trying to spell it out with your hand, and you're pointing, and then they go, yeah, but they didn't see it, but they're just like, to let it pass, they're like, yeah, it's great. And they're like, later, they're like, I don't know what you meant. Like every scenario is like that, but it's good.
To wrap up, what's next for MER?
Hosting a few trips. The next one is in 2 months' time. It's going to be with mantas, the place where I said that I cried. So we're going to be free diving with them, and then also diving, free diving and diving with them on like a really beautiful island. So that's like the closest thing, and then like a bunch of trips after.
That's amazing.
Wow.
The one closest to that is we're going diving this weekend.
Yeah. This Friday.
This Friday, yeah.
Well, that's super exciting. Inshallah, all the things that you have in mind come true and they work out in your favor.
And inshallah, you manifest positivity always.
And to more dives, to more sharks.
To more dives and more sharks.
To more majestic creatures.
And whales. Yes.
Yeah, majestic creatures.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Majestic creatures.
Thank you for having me, you guys. It's been like the best time.
We've been filming for the past
almost 3 hours.
More than 3 hours, actually.
And it feels like it flew by.
Yeah.
And we're not even like halfway done yet.
We just came on the surface. We didn't go like,
no pun intended.
We're still on open water. We're not advanced yet.
Jed.
Oh God.
Well,
you guys, there has to be a part 2 at some point.
Lazim.
This is an annual thing on today. What's today? 24th of July. Annual.
Lazim. Well, you're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
The door is open. You know where we are right now. Come knock on the door.
Thank you so much for actually coming.
Yeah.
Of course, sorry I didn't come earlier. I know you guys in the beginning said long awaited. I've been busy, you guys.
It's all for good.
Much.
For the good.
Yeah.
For good.
So
It's such a pleasure having you here.
thank you.
Don't forget to follow her on Dive with MER. And also, where's MER, right?
Yeah, where's .MER?
Yeah, where she's also her other travels, the other side of diving. And don't forget to follow us as usual. Follow us on all platforms, you know, the whole shebang. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, keep it for real. Big love. Peace.
Good job, ladies. Loved it. Killed it.